This podcast is supported by patrons. You can find a full list of them in the description of this episode. Hello, listeners of Good Morning BSS World podcast. This is Wiktor Doktór coming to you with another episode directly from Ukraine. This is another episode where we are getting familiar with interesting Ukrainian IT companies, and today we will focus on integrity vision with my guest. My special guest is Mila Pidgorna. Hi Mila, how are you?
Hi.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself. What kind of a position do you have within integrity vision?
I'm head of software development, and I have been working in integrity for more than 8 years.
Okay, so now if we did that proper introduction, usually we start our discussions about Ukrainian IT companies with some kind of a subjective view of the whole IT industry in Ukraine. If you could give us some kind of an insights of how is it going in IT Ukraine in November 2023?
Okay, if you don't mind, I want to compare the situation in Ukraine right now and, for example, how it was before the war and when the war started. Because I know that for a lot of people from audience, sometimes it's different to see this comparison. So if we talk about 2021, we have export share of the Ukrainian IT industry amounting for 6.8 billion. And it brought Ukraine 4% of its GDP. And we have in that period of time more than 285,000 of IT specialists. And that was record growth in the volume of IT export for more over than 10 years. So we were quite proud of the situation in that period of time. But when the war started, despite this fact, Ukrainian IT industry is continues to grow. Of course, it was not so high and really rapid like it was in previous time, because average it was about 27% per year. In the most productive year in 2021, we have almost 40% of growth. But in 2022, we demonstrated 7.3 billion, so it was 6% of growth if we compare it with 2021. So I think that in this really bad condition, it was really quite impressive results. And if we talk right now, we still continue this growth, and we can see it in any case. If we talk about IT specialists, because IT university, they almost every year they train and provide for 50,000 of people more each year. So if we talk about 2021, we have about 285,000. Then the next year it was almost 30,000 of quite professional people in IT industries, and right now we reached the level of 3,060. Yeah, so I think it's quite also interesting. And what we can talk else, in the previous year, a lot of companies, more than 30 of all IT companies, and previous year we have about 5,000. So 30 of them started new business and started looking for new opportunities in different countries. So we talk about globalization. They moved some of their headquarters, some of IT companies in the west part of the countries, and 27% of them, they opened offices abroad. And also what we can set, for example, the highest level, what we can, if we talk about revenue, and if we talk about 10 countries who provide this revenue for Ukraine, the main of them it's United States, Great Britain, but Poland is also in top 10. And Ukraine right now, like, digital tiger of Europe, maybe because we can grow up and provide to the market a lot of IT specialists. And I think the most reason is about quality. So the quality of IT guys, it's quite impressive, and we can proud of this also.
I like this description of digital tiger. That sounds really, really nice. Okay, so let's move a little bit to your field, to your company, to Integrity Vision. So this podcast is actually to find out more information, more details about what Ukrainian IT companies are doing. So in case of Integrity Vision, when the whole history of the company started?
Oh, more than 13 years ago. Firstly, we mostly work with some big vendors like IBM and Hitachi and others. But about 7 years ago, we start working with much more vendors. One of them is Camunda. It's a German company, and now we are platinum partner of Camunda also. Because a lot of our client, it's mostly from telco and banks. It's a big international bank like BNP Paribas, Raiffeisen Bank, and a lot of others. We also work with National Bank of Ukraine, because government is also one part of our client who quite interested in automation, digitalization, to help them with their customer journey. So we focused on this area and try to provide the best option for client to make the best value for money.
So we will come back to those industries which you are supporting in a moment, but let's first focus on this what you do. So what's the scope of the services which your company is providing?
Mostly it's three main areas. One of them is business process automation. But the business process automation, it's how you can easily, using such tools like what I have already mentioned about Camunda, IBM, how to automate the business and to help clients not working with manual tasks, and provide everything that is possible to do everything automatically. The second part is security. So it's anti-money laundering, it's anti-fraud. We also implemented a lot of huge projects how to prevent this anti-fraud actions, and successful in this case also. And the third direction is hardware. And when the war started, it was also quite interesting and big challenges, because for a lot of banks and telcos, they start thinking about start working with clouds. And our hardware department, together with client sides, provide a lot of different things to mitigate the risk and to find the best options how to deal with hardware.
So you mentioned three lines: business process optimization, security, and the hardware. Let's stay a little bit with this first area. Does it mean that this is connected somehow with the robotics, digitalization, AI, or somehow differently?
Yeah, it's really like this. We're talking about a business process management system, so BPM in a short. Yeah, it also quite nice when you implement it with robotic process automation. And the main idea is to redesign the business, to see how business processes seems right now, to change, for example, something how business they worked previously, and to redesign everything with a new approach, and to believe in a new system, new technology. And we always help them with legacy system, because sometimes it's quite different for big institution to deal with something quite old, but they can't just easily throw away the system. So we help also with integration. And in our big project from the scratch, we implement and one solution and integrate it is with a lot of banks or telco environment, and help them in this digital transformation.
You mentioned about the hardware as this third line. Does it mean that you are some kind of a distributor of various hardware solutions, or you are also creating your own hardware?
Mostly like distribution. Yeah, because no, it's not it's like our own solution, but for example, we are also platinum partner of Hitachi, and our services managers who do all this job, they have some unique expertise. And if I can't be for 100% sure, because it's another direction, because I'm head of software department. But as I understand, our expertise is unique on Ukraine, and only our engineers can provide such things.
Okay, thank you very much. You already twice mentioned those banks and telcos here. I'm just looking at my notes. So those are the two industries which definitely are the ones which you are taking care of. But are those the only ones, or you are working also with the other industries?
We also worked with government, with retail, and for example, if we talk about different types of government, we implemented project in Georgia with Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So sometimes it could be any types of companies, but why I mentioned about banks and telco, it's about 90% of all of our clients, and they just think about modernizing their technologies and everything that they use, and they rapidly change directions. They try to be trendy, and when even the coronavirus started, they try to understand their customer journey. And in Ukraine, it's why important, very important, that clients don't need to go to the branch. They want to, from their mobile phone, in a few clicks, just do everything. So it's quite important to understand this. That's why for them the digitalization is so important.
So we already know when you were started, what kind of services do you provide and for whom. So now let's take a look where you are based. Before we went live, I know that you are personally based in Kiev, but where is the company located? Also Kiev or some other locations as well?
Yeah, a company located the main office in Kiev, but if we talk our guys, they, because we're more than 3 years, have been working remotely. They in different regions. So mostly in west part of Ukraine, it's about maybe 50% of our guys. About 30%, I think, in Kiev. Yeah, and some of them they located in Europe in different countries.
Okay, so you've got also some kind of virtual teams which are based outside of Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you have any offices outside of Ukraine?
Right now, not, but we are thinking about it.
Okay. So you mentioned that you have employees who are based outside of your main location, which is Kiev. So how many people do work for your company?
More than 60.
More than 60. Okay. So this is quite already a big number of people who are dedicated to those three lines of business which you are supporting. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other tips and hints we should know about your company?
Maybe that we are quite open, and we really want to create a long-term relationship with client partners, our potential employees, with everyone. And maybe that's why almost all our clients have been working for us more than 10 years.
This is a nice period of time. And if you are looking for new employees, so if you are searching for people who would need to join your company, what are the skills you are focusing the most?
Also, it's about openness. We want, highly motivated employee who enjoy their work, not just do it because they need, I don't know, money or something like this, but they should be quite interested in services that we provide. Think about quality. They should think about client like, really friend. And to think, oh, okay, how I can help him, how I can provide some services which make their life easier, more nicer. And if there is some people like this, we highly recommended them to come and to see our friendship and our small team.
There is actually one question which just came to my mind and I missed it in our before talk. The scope of your clients, are there usually the companies who are based in Ukraine and you are supporting them, or you have the global clients to whom you are providing services to?
Mostly, well, just working for Ukrainians market, and it's about maybe 90% of all our clients. But we usually implemented a project in Georgia, Azerbaijan, Moldova, Kazakhstan. So it's depend on the year.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So for the end of our talk, if you could, Mila, just share with me information where we can find more information about integrity vision. So some kind of information about your web pages or any other sources of information.
Yeah. Our web pages is quite nice because we have the new one. Our marketing team just implemented 1 month ago, so you can see a lot of nice success cases and stories how we help our client, and maybe some of this information could be insightful. And we just open for communication. So if somebody like prospects, potential clients, partners want to find more information, and it's not even about some potential project, but for sharing experience. So if you're just interested in it, just you can easily find me in LinkedIn, and or to put some questions, any questions in our site, and we will be quite glad to help you in any case.
Thank you very much for that, Mila, and thank you for your time and sharing information about integrity vision. I will make sure to put the links in the description of this episode. And for today, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.